What's up guys, your boy again, Tiny here with another video with TGN.TV, and today guys, I'm going to be looking at protection, warrior, glyphs, and talents. Let's get to it now. Alright, I'm just so excited guys, the map's finally out, huh? You guys excited? I know I am. Alright, let's get to it. We're going to look at the talents first. So for tier 15, I picked Warbringer. This allows your charge to knocks the target down to the ground and stuns for 3 seconds. I like this one more than Juggernaut double time, just because I like how it has just a little stun. I mean, the other two just allows you, well, double time allows you to use charge twice. Juggernaut just allows you to use it every 12 seconds to 20 seconds. So I like Warbringer just because of the stun. It's really just your personal preference, but I think Warbringer is, I like it a lot compared to the other two. Now for tier 30, all of these are really good, or I should say Enraged Regeneration and Pending Victory are good. Second Wind, it only kicks in when you're below 35% health, so it's not really, well, if you think about it, when you're tanking in like heroic dungeons, for example, or even in raids, most of the time the tank is going to be above 35% health, so Second Wind is not really kicking at all. So that's why I really don't find the one to be that useful. And Pending Victory, on the other hand, though, is on a 30-second cooldown. You deal damage, and you also heal yourself for 10% of your maximum health. And now you can do this for every 30 seconds. So usually when I use it in heroics, when I have been using it, it heals me for about like 30k usually. So I find that to be a lot more useful than Second Wind. Now Enraged Regeneration is also a very good pick. It's really up to you. Enraged Regeneration is a hot, which is a heal over time. So it also is really another good heal. But yeah, so Enraged Regeneration and Pending Victory are the two good ones, I would say. Second Wind, it is useful, but I mean, if you think about it, the chances of you being below 35% health in a raid or heroic is you're not going to be below that a lot. So that's why I think a Pending Victory and Enraged Regeneration is a lot better. Now for tier 45, none of these really help in PvE, I would say, or really not really PvE oriented, I should say. I mean, they don't really do anything to benefit you through PvE. I mean, of course, some trash might be spellcasters, so you can disruptively shout to interrupt them. That might be useful for certain trash mobs I could think of, but otherwise else, it's really just up to you. I like Piercing Howl for when we pull one mob, and I'll use it, and then I'll snare like 3 of the mobs, and the 2 other ones we get attack, kill those, and then go back to the other 3. So I find that one kind of useful. So really, these ones, this not really, none of them are really PvE oriented. But again, as I said, guys, disrupting shout you use for when you're some trash mobs to interrupt them. I mean, you can't use it on a boss because it's going to be immune, so there's really no point to that. So yeah. Anyways guys, on to level or tier 60. Now these ones guys, I personally think Shockwave and Bladestorm is good. Of course Dragon Roar is a good AoE ability on a 1-minute cooldown. Shockwave's 20-second cooldown, Bladestorm is 1.5-minute cooldown. Now a lot of warriors are going Shockwave for PvP and PvE, but now instead of talking about Prot, still a lot of warriors are still going Shockwave. Just because during a lot of trash mobs, that 4-second stun is 4 seconds you or anybody else in your party is not getting hit. So that's why that is a really good ability. It's also on a 20-second cooldown and does a good amount of damage. But the reason I went with Bladestorm is because it's an AoE ability, and I can AoE a lot of mobs, and it helps keep aggro. So I can use Thunderclap and then use Bladestorm. It just helps keep aggro, and it's a really good AoE ability. But again, guys, Shockwave is a really good pick as well. A lot of warriors, I said before, guys, is going to Shockwave. I actually tested out both of them. It scales out to be kind of the same usefulness wise. I just like Bladestorm more because Bladestorm is a pro warrior. That's just really cool. I mean, usually you don't do that. Usually Bladestorm is safe to like Fury and stuff like that and arms. But you usually don't see that like back in Kata. You never really saw PvE tanking, or sorry, PvE warrior tanks using Bladestorm. So I think that's just really cool. But Shockwave works just as well. Dragon Roar, I never really used it in PvE. I've only used Shockwave and Bladestorm. But I mean, it does damage, and it also has a knockback. So I mean, I guess it could be useful, but I prefer Blaze Storm and Shockwave a lot more. Now on to 75 talents. All of these are useful. I'm gonna say it up front. Safeguard and Vigilance, I would say, is more geared towards PvE tanking. I like Vigilance a lot better because when I'm, tanking on the left side of my screen, I see all the party members. If I see one of them, I have a focus macro. I just click over it, boom, hit Vigilance, so they're taking damage. It reduces the damage they take, or transfers 30% of the damage they're taking to me, so they're not taking as much damage. So that gives the healer more time to heal them while I take damage. Of course, I'm a tank, so I'm supposed to be taking damage, so I'll be able to take that. So that's why I like Vigilance really well. Safeguard is also really good. Safeguard is pretty much like an intervene. It pretty much you're gonna be using Safeguard instead of intervene. It's pretty much gonna swap it. And what this does is you intercept the next melee or range attack made against whoever you're intervening to or safeguarding to, and then reduces their damage taken by 6 seconds or reduces damage by 20% for 6 seconds. So both of these are really good. The reason I like Vigilance better is because it's 12 seconds to 6 seconds, and it charges 30%. And this is Safeguard is only 20% for 6 seconds. Vigilance is 30% for 12 seconds. So Vigilance has a higher percentage and a higher time that's reducing damage. That's why I like Vigilance a lot better. But the downside is Safeguard's 30-second cooldown and Vigilance 2-minute cooldown. So it's really whichever you find more useful. I would pick up Safeguard in some situations because the cooldown is a lot less than Vigilance, so it depends on certain situations. Now, Mass Spell Reflect, yeah, I don't know. I didn't really feel like it'd be too useful in PvE situations compared to Safeguard and Vigilance, which are really, really good for keeping your other party members alive and reducing their damage they're taking. So that's why I like these two. Now, 90 talents. We have Storm, Bolt, Bloodbath, Avatar. Now, the reason I picked Avatar over these two is because Avatar increases your rage generation by 30%. So with that, I can use a lot more moves, keep aggro better, and yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I picked Avatar. The increased damage, it doesn't really matter because you're tanking. You're not really worrying about your DPS. But that increased rage regeneration, or not regeneration, increased rage generation is really, really good because then you have more rage, like a lot more rage. You can definitely tell the difference when you pop Avatar. So then you could use a lot more abilities. Now, the reason I like Avatar is because when you're using Shield Block is really hard to use now for tanks because you have to have 60 rage, and most of the time you're not going to be using it. I mean, of course you can be using it, but not a lot of the time. You want to be using Shield Barrier a lot because it's only 20 rage. And when you're using all your other abilities, most of the time it's kind of hard to get up to 60 rage unless, well, in Heroics, from what I've experienced, I haven't been using it too much, just because I usually don't get up to 60 rage, meaning spamming a lot of abilities. But with Avatar, it's really good because you're gonna have a lot of extra rage, so you could easily use Shield Block a lot for defensive cooldowns. So that's why I picked Avatar over Bloodbath and Stormbolt. Avatar is really, really strong for that generation of extra rage. Now onto the glyphs. First glyph I have, guys, is Glyph of God, that was terrible. I was about to say repercussions. Repercussions. Yeah, that was right. Okay. Okay, look at that, guys. I'm just tripping out here. I'm so nervous for this commentary. I'm just tripping out. Nah, nervous. Psych. Nervous commentaries. Good one. Anyways, guys, what this does is while my shield block is active, shield slam hits for an additional 50% more damage, which increases your threat generation, which is gonna allow you to keep more aggro, which is just what you want to be doing as a tank, which is really, really good. Now, as I said, shield block is kind of hard to get up, but when you pop Avatar, especially on boss fights, and even on trash fights, because I mean Avatar is only on 3-minute cooldown, so you can easily do that through trash fights as well. And then you can use shield block. And then when you have shield block active, you definitely want to use your shield slams like constantly as much as you can for that 50% more damage, increased stat regeneration. So you definitely want to use shield slam a lot more once that's popped. The next major glyph, guys, is Glyph of Hold the Line. It improves the damage of your next revenge by 50% following a successful parry. So now, before in Kata, you had a parry or dodge to use revenge. Now you don't. You can use revenge pretty much whenever you want. But for this glyph to take effect for the increased damage, you have to do a successful parry to have that increased damage. And of course, you know, when you're going to be parrying, I wouldn't say like majorly, but you are going to be parrying, so this comes very useful because Revenge is one of your main abilities you want to be using to do damage as well as have threat regeneration, or threat generation. So this is definitely a really strong glyph to be picking up. The next glyph I have, guys, is a glyph of Shield Slam. Your Shield Slam now dispels one magical effect. There is other glyphs you can pick up instead of this one, but the reason I picked this one up is because it ties in with Glyph of Heavy Repercussions really well. Because while using Shield Block, you're going to be constantly using Shield Slam for the extra damage. But now when you're also using Shield Slam, you also are able to dispel one magical effect each time you use Shield Slam. So that's really good. I really like that one a lot. Really a lot. Now, for the minor glyphs, guys, these ones are all what you want. None of them really affect what you're doing PvE-wise. Glyph of Thundering Strike just looks really cool. I mean, it summons down some lightning. Let me show you what I mean by that. Can I land here? Okay, please don't fall. So when I use it, it just summons down lightning like that. It's just a cool effect, really. And then the next one I have is Glyph of Mystic Shout. Whenever you use Battle Shout or Commanding Shout, I just, you know, look like I'm going Super Saiyan mode. So that's another really cool one. And then Glyph of Gushing Wounds. My deep wounds just look even bloodier than normal. That's the only difference. So again, guys, the minor glyphs is all your personal preference, really, because it just like all the minor glyphs are something to do that makes something look cooler, or that's really it. I mean, there's really nothing that says, oh, this is creature damage here, oh, you need to get this one. You know, there's nothing really that affects your gameplay or game style or anything like that. Anyways, guys, this has been Galarn with my Prot Warrior talents and glyphs. I'm going to be showing you guys some of the new heroic dungeons upcoming soon, as well as the raids. I'm hoping to get into a raid this weekend. I know Little Beefy, the Death Knight tank, he's already getting into raids. I've been talking to him. He's already raided yesterday, he was in a raid yesterday. So he'll probably have some footage as well. So you have Death Knight tanking perspective, as well as Prot Warrior tanking perspective for those raids. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more stuff, guys. Having a lot of content coming out from me. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, I'll see you later. Peace.
A career path in video, sponsored by TGN. To learn more, visit tgn.tv.